Time now for the morning rush. Two suspects have been arrested and accused of the murder of an 11-year-old who was shot leaving an Isotopes game. Last night, police say that it was a case of mistaken identity that led to the death of 11-year-old Froilan Villegas, and now the arrests of 22-year-old Jose Romero and 21-year-old Nathan Garley. The suspects had been in a dispute at the Isotopes game with someone in a white Dodge pickup that looked similar to the vehicle that Froilan was in.
And a 7-year-old boy is in critical condition this morning following a domestic dispute between his mother and her boyfriend. APD says the man called 911 just before 3 yesterday morning, claiming that his girlfriend shot him. Police say the bullet went through his leg and struck the woman's young son. The boy was rushed to the hospital. As of this morning, the woman has not been identified by police. It's unclear what kind of charges she may face.
A man charged with shooting at 2 grocery store employees has taken a plea deal. Prosecutors say that Christopher Gutierrez was causing a scene at the Smiths on Tramway near I-40 earlier this year. It's when employees asked him to leave. Police say that he fired 2 shots as 2 employees were approaching him. Gutierrez is facing between 1 to 4 years in prison. Zoe.
And our next big weather maker is going to be a backdoor cold front that will arrive late tonight and into tomorrow. But most of the day today is going to be defined by a bit of cloud coverage, mostly dry, breezy to windy conditions. It's going to be warm to hot down south, a bit cooler up to our north, and by tomorrow even cooler across northern New Mexico.
CYFD is once again at the center of a lawsuit claiming they failed to protect a child in their custody. Back in 2021, 2-year-old Diana McRoy was killed by her father, Michael Garcia, in his home near San Pedro in San Antonio. The suit claims police told CYFD not to place Diana with Garcia due to his history with crime. Garcia pled guilty to second-degree murder and will be sentenced next Friday.
Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham is continuing her overseas trip with a meeting with the president of Taiwan discussing economic opportunities. A Taiwan-based company, Hoda Industrial Manufacturing, is already planning to build its first U.S. factory here in New Mexico. The governor's trip to Taiwan ends on Saturday.
The Albuquerque International Sunport may soon have flights to and from Mexico. The FAA has returned Mexico's aviation safety rating to the highest level, allowing U.S. airports to open up discussions about potential routes. While international travel is not yet guaranteed, airport officials say the FAA ruling is the first step to make that happen. Zoe.
And our Metro Threat Index for today is very low. It's only at a 3 out of 10. Mostly dry, breezy conditions. The biggest issue is going to be fire danger across the far northeastern corner of the state.
A Colorado woman is home and recovering after slipping through a glacier in remote Alaska. Deanne Casare fell through the ice while walking through a tunnel. It was during a hike. Now, luckily, a group of airmen were also on hand, including Air Force recruiter Cole Cagle. He's from Rio Rancho. Now, Cagle and his team, they built a makeshift stretcher with a rope and a tarp and carried her to 400 yards to safety.
Comedy enthusiasts will be producing plenty of spit takes here in the Metro throughout the weekend. The Albuquerque Funny Fiesta kicked off last night with an open mic downtown and will run through the weekend. A full list of events and their venues can be found on our website, always on KRQE.com.
A new teen center is opening up this weekend in Santa Fe, and the city wants the whole family to come out and enjoy. The ribbon cutting happens at 2 this afternoon, and the first 200 teens will get goodies at the door like pizza and free blankets. You can visit KRQE.com for all the details. Zoe.
And take a look at that morning drive. Maps are nice and clear. Really no major accidents or anything to worry about early on your Friday morning commute. Maybe a little slowdown near the Big Eye, but check out that gorgeous sunrise to kick off our day. Things are flowing smoothly. Trackers headed south on I-25 near Lead and Cole.
A porcupine at the Cincinnati Zoo takes his workout routine very seriously. The Cincinnati Zoo shared the adorable video on social media. Rico, as zoo officials call him, is seen using his running wheel like a true pro. The spiky Brazilian porcupine celebrated his 7th birthday at the zoo earlier this year.
Time now for the 5 facts.
At number 5 this morning, the Albuquerque Funny Fiesta has now kicked off with an open mic downtown, and it will run through the weekend to celebrate humor, entertainment, and artistic expression. The Funny Fiesta will feature more than 50 local performers and out-of-town comedians.
At number 4, a recent court ruling now states that the city of Albuquerque is no longer allowed to remove or destroy homeless people's property without a warrant. The order comes after a lawsuit was filed on behalf of 8 people whose belongings were seized while living in city parks. Effective November 1st, the ruling says property can only be removed if it's blocking sidewalks, driveways, or alleys, or if it's on school grounds. Otherwise, officials need a warrant and must give advance notice and a chance for the owner to reclaim the items. The city says it plans to challenge the injunction.
And at number 3, we're looking at more cloud coverage today, streaming in from Tropical Depression Kenneth and a bit of a breeze. Most of us aren't going to be seeing much rain when it comes to measurable precipitation. A lot of that activity is going to evaporate as drier air is working its way in across the state.
And number 2, police say gun violence has put a 7-year-old boy in critical condition this morning following a domestic dispute between his mother and her boyfriend. APD says the man called 911 just before 3 yesterday morning, claiming that his girlfriend shot him. Police say the bullet went through his leg and struck the woman's young son. The boy was then rushed to the hospital. As of this morning, the woman has not been identified by police. It's unclear what kind of charges she may face.
And at number 1, 2 suspects have been arrested and accused in the murder of an 11-year-old who was shot leaving an Isotopes game. Last night, police say that it was not road rage, but a case of mistaken identity that led to the death of 11-year-old Froilan Villegas and now the arrest of 22-year-old Jose Romero and 21-year-old Nathan Garley. According to police, the suspects had been in a dispute at the Isotopes game with someone in a white Dodge pickup that looked similar to the vehicle that Froilan was in. APD says that they identified Jose Romero as a possible suspect within 36 hours of the shooting. At the time, he had a warrant out for his arrest on a drug charge from 3 years ago. State police said that Nathan Garley was pulled over a couple of days after the shooting. They say that he had 22 pounds of fentanyl in his car and is facing federal drug trafficking charges.